Have you ever really stopped to look at the language used in corporate training? Really look at it? Today, we're going to do just that. We're going to deconstruct a course description, sentence by sentence, and see what it's truly telling us about how to win over a leader. Let's dig in and see what secrets are hiding in plain sight. So here it is. This is our source material. Psychology of Negotiation and Persuasion to Win Over a Male Leader. Right off the bat, a couple of things jump out. It's not just about skills, it's about psychology. And it's not about leaders in general, it's specifically about a male leader. This title's doing a lot of work. It's setting a stage, promising a very specific outcome, and even diagnosing a problem, all in one go. So, here's our game plan. First, we're going to look at the specific challenge that this course sets up. Then, we'll dive into the psychological approach it promises to teach. After that, we'll explore the so-called universal tools it offers. And finally, we'll analyze that catchy two birds, one stone claim. We'll wrap it all up with a big question for you to think about. All right, let's start at the beginning. Every solution needs a problem, right? So what's the problem that this training module is designed to solve? Let's see how the language frames the whole situation. Well, the very first clue is right there in the name. Not just a leader, but a male leader. This immediately narrows the field. It suggests that this particular demographic requires its own special set of tactics, that they're a unique challenge. That one word, male, frames the entire conversation before we even get started. And then you see this phrase, to deal with. Now think about that for a second. When do we use the phrase deal with? You don't deal with a great opportunity. You deal with a tricky situation, an obstacle, a problem. The language here subtly positions this leader not as a collaborator, but as a challenge that you need to manage or, overcome. So if you put those two pieces together, a course that singles out a specific gender and then talks about interacting with them as something to be dealt with, what does that really suggest? What are the unspoken assumptions being made about our workplace dynamics? What is the real problem this course is claiming to solve? Okay, so we've established the problem they've laid out, so what's the magic solution? Let's unpack the how, the psychological toolkit that this course is promising to hand over. The approach is kind of presented on two levels. First, you'll learn tools and techniques. Okay, that sounds pretty practical, right? Hands-on stuff. But then it kicks it up a notch. It says you'll master psychological techniques. That word mastery is so important here. It's not just about learning a few tricks, it's promising you'll become an expert. And this is the story they sell you. It's so simple and appealing. Step 1, learn the tools. Step 2, master the psychology behind them. Step 3, you win. This very simple, linear progression makes our really complex social skills seem totally straightforward and achievable. It's just great marketing. All right, so we've established that the target is super specific. But here's where things take a little twist. Who is this training actually for? Turns out the answer is, well, just about anyone. Check out this line. After spending all that time zeroing in on a male leader, the description swings the doors wide open. It says these techniques work regardless of the same gender or different gender. This is such a classic move, right? Create a very niche problem, but then pitch the solution as universal so you can sell it to the biggest possible audience. So the setup is actually pretty clever. The target is a highly specific, this one type of leader. But the person who can use the tools, that could be anybody. The message is pretty simple. It doesn't matter who you are. If you're facing this specific challenge, we've got the one-size-fits-all solution for you. Okay, now we're at the end of the pitch. This is the big promise, the real payoff. How do they seal the deal? They use this classic, powerful idiom that promises you'll be incredibly efficient. And there it is. Kill two birds with one stone. This isn't just promising you'll succeed, it's promising you'll be efficient. In today's world, who doesn't want that? The idea that you can take one action and solve two problems at once is it's incredibly appealing. It taps right into our desire for maximum impact with minimum effort. Of course, this immediately begs the question. We know the one stone is mastering these psychological techniques, but what are the two birds? The description doesn't explicitly tell us, so we have to do a little detective work based on the clues. So, based on the language, here's what it looks like. Bird number 1 is probably the practical skill itself, just getting better at negotiation and persuasion in general. But bird number 2, that seems to be the real goal. It's not just about winning a debate, it's about winning over the leader.
That implies something much deeper, a more lasting influence in relationship. Okay, so we've taken apart the problem, the solution, the target audience, and the big promise. Now it's time to zoom out and think about what this all means when you put it together.
So what have we seen? We've seen a brilliant piece of persuasive writing. It isolates a very specific pain point, dealing with a male leader. It offers up this sophisticated sounding solution called mastering psychology. And then it closes the deal with this irresistible promise of a 2-for-1 payoff. It's a whole narrative wrapped up in just a couple of sentences. And really, this all leads to a much bigger question that goes beyond just this one training module. Is this the future of professional development? This kind of hyper-focused, demographically specific training designed to navigate certain types of personalities? Is it a smart strategy for an increasingly complex world? Or is it maybe a sign that we're becoming more divided? What do you think? Thanks for joining me on this little deconstruction.